So I'm Brandon Heller. I'm CTO and co-founder at Forward Networks. And in this session, I'm going to cover what we do at Forward, what drives us, and I'm going to give you a quick preview of what you're going to see today. Our theme for NFD 22 is a week in the life of a network operator, and it's all about showing how Forward can help with the tasks and the challenges that network operators deal with daily. So let's get started with a cheat sheet for those who are new to Forward. Well, first off, what do we do? Well, our main product, Forward Enterprise, documents, searches, verifies, and then predicts the behavior of your network. In effect, we create a complete software copy or a digital twin of your network. Your entire network, and that covers everything that touches a packet. Switches, routers, load balancers, and firewalls, whether those are virtual or physical, whether they're traditional or more in the SDN style, and whether they are on-prem or in the cloud. Okay, how do we do it? Well, in a nutshell, we collect configuration and state. We collect all of it, typically via SSH. We then use our own methods to organize that data in scalable ways, and then finally we make it accessible via GUI and API. Network admins really like this approach, and we do too, because it's easy to set up and manage. So there are no agents, there are no write credentials needed, there is no programming needed, and this is something that you can set up and get value on the first day. All right, so why bother with this? Well, it helps network teams to address the challenges of effective network operations, especially for networks that are heterogeneous, which is basically every network that I've ever come across, bunch of devices, configurations going back many years, and especially when they are at scale, and we're talking thousands or tens of thousands of core network devices. In the process, we can raise the level of abstraction from being focused on the lower level, device-specific, vendor-specific, command level, to the higher level intent of how the network should behave. The other reason is it helps enable teams to go from reacting to problems when they occur to becoming proactive or even preventative. All right, so last time we were in this room, this was for NFD 21, I think this was early October last year, our Director of Product Management, Natalie, described how empathy for the network operator drives our product direction. And so Natalie brought up this phrase, avia per via, which means let's make easy the things that are hard. And this empathy is at the heart of why we created this company, and I wanted to tell my personal story of feeling the pain as a network operator. I think that's a good place to get started. Okay, so let's rewind the clock to 2007, to the early days of SDN, software-defined networking. We were grad students at Nick McEwen's lab at Stanford, and we were building and operating our own OpenFlow-based networks. And that included local wiring closets, that included servers in the basement and the switches that connected to them. It also included a remote data center generously donated by Google. It was a bunch of racks. Actually, this is the best view I ever saw of it. But we had to set up everything from scratch in all of these. We had to add the firmware, and especially in that data center, we had to figure out the hypervisor and everything involved. It's useful. We learned a ton. But sometimes it felt like this. It felt like there was this impenetrable wall of ports because the level of visibility and the level of testability we had just did not match what we were used to coming from a software world. Very different in operations. Now fast forward 5 years. So one of our founders, Payman, was looking for a way to test whether different chunks of a network were properly isolated. And in the process, he created this kind of algebra for networks called HSA, or header space analysis. And it made it possible to model all the traffic behaviors for a network, even with all these different kinds of devices, switches, routers, firewalls, load balancers. Now, at that point, we had interacted with enough network administrators, both on our campus as well as in the world at large ISPs everywhere, to where we knew that the challenges in our tiny little network did not match in any way the challenges of real network operators. We knew that. But what we knew is that if you could make network behavior more accessible and more useful, then you could have a real impact on network operations and on the network operators behind them. So now let's jump forward to today. Now, after 8 years of grinding away at this, we've made network modeling practical and deployable. We had to build out a deep and precise understanding of a majority of the world's deployed networking equipment, all the devices, understanding their behavior, going back 10 years across all the firmware versions. We had to build a way to do this analysis that would scale to networks with tens of thousands of devices in a single view. We had to build a new kind of network search that provides instant access to network behavior through these apps. And you'll see more of these in use in the next hour. And I would love to go into the details and talk more about this, but I'm just going to give one data point, which is today, the entire Goldman Sachs network of about 15,000 core network elements can be processed with a single view on a single node. We're very proud of that. All right, so what are you going to see today? Well, for NFD 22, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to show you the what's in it for me, and we're going to do that entirely with stories. So for each day in a week, we're going to show a common operations task, and then you'll see how the Forward platform can help make that task easier, faster, and executable with more confidence. And each day, you're going to see a live demo from someone who's either building or deploying this product. We're going to keep with that tradition, which we think helps keep this entertaining. All right, so I would love to say that after Forward Networks, anyone can go from, let's just say, closely identifying with a grumpy cat meme, God rest his soul, to some kind of empowerment meme. Something more like this. Just remembered it's Friday, yeah. That's not going to happen, and no product is going to do that. I'm going to lower your expectations a little bit. But if at the end of today, you can see how every day can be a little bit better, and you want to reach out, you want to learn more, you want to try it out, and you understand the stuff a little better, then we'll have done our job.